Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here. Today, what I'm going to be bringing to you guys is a really quick video on just some top tips for tomorrow's update. Obviously, the February update does go live tomorrow at the time of posting this video, which will be, of course, February 28th. Now, with this, there's a few nifty little things where you'll be able to make a potential profit, so to keep an eye on your server. And I'm also going to point out some of the hidden things. I did go over everything yesterday that was relevant, but this is just literally quick fire. Not going to go into too much depth about why it's good. I'm just going to point out some of the most crucial things that you will want to bear in mind going into tomorrow's update. If you do find the video helpful and useful, make sure you drop me a like and a subscribe down below if you haven't already done so, and let's jump into this one. Now, the first thing that I just wanted to go over here is weapon swapping and the dodging and blocking mechanism changes we've seen here. Overall, we should be seeing a lot more smoother combat, and with that, that is going to mean a lot of us need to stop spamming buttons. If you're anything like me in the wars currently, I'm spamming 1 and 2 to switch weapons when it's not registering. I'm spamming abilities. With this new system that they've brought into place and with the new mechanisms of how it's going to work, if you do spam buttons, which I'm sure we're all going to do for the first couple of wars until we get used to this again, but it is going to actually queue the swaps or the abilities that you've pressed in that order. So it's going to end up basically being a big backlog of you're going to swap, press an ability, etc. And yeah, it's probably not going to work too well. So do bear in mind, it should be a lot more responsive. It would probably be prudent to try this out in Outpost Rush or in a open world PvP type environment, whether that's a duel or you're actually going to go ahead and try and contest someone for PvP quests or something. It is going to be slightly different, well, probably very different actually to what we're used to, especially in a 50v50 environment. So do bear that in mind and do make sure that you are getting prepared for that. Outpost Rush is personally my suggestion for trying this because, again, that's been overhauled massively. There's a whole new game mode almost now with different scoring systems and such, so give them both a try whilst you're at it. Now, with this specifically on the dodging side as well, do bear in mind that when you dodge, it is going to cancel a light attack chain or it's going to cancel an ability as it does take priority. So again, that is going to be a way that you are able to then get back into the movement more fluidly because they've connected dodging and movement up a lot better as well. So it should mean that if you do get yourself into a sticky situation where you've started to do an ability or an attack and you think, actually, I really shouldn't have done that in the position I'm in, dodge and then start to move, and you should be able to do all of that a lot more fluidly, especially melee guys. We're going to realize that, particularly two-handed melees, so your warhammers, your great axes, we're no longer going to have the delay that's across all melee weapons after hitting a light attack chain or a heavy attack chain. So what we should be able to see is light attack and then instant dodges, then you can go back into your movement, so it should be much more fluid. So don't forget to play around with that once you do get hands-on with the brand new update. In terms of the perks then, you're going to see here that energizing evade shot has been fixed. Essentially what's happened here is it's fixed an issue where this perk was not triggering if any upgrades were unlocked for evade shot, so it was essentially a dud perk. Now this has actually been redone and should work as intended, so bear in mind if you've got any of the craft mods for this or any bows with this on that are otherwise really good, the price for this could shoot up. Again, watch your market, watch your own economy, and obviously watch the meta, but this could be something that is really good. On a similar vein, but on the flip side of this, accelerating flamethrower will no longer be triggering off exactly 3 stacks and will now be back to what it should have been initially, which is 3 or more. So that could be anywhere past 3 as well as 3 itself. So do bear that in mind. That could drop in price. So if you've got any of those before the update goes live or just after it goes live, try and get those sold because the chances are the price is going to drop. I know on my server these are pretty much 50, maybe even 40 gold each anyway, but there's chances this will go even lower, and on some servers I'm sure it will be lower, so make sure to try and get some of those sold if you've got the craft mods and you think that you're not going to be using them. That being said, flamethrower has been buffed in itself and you're going to move double the speed of previous iterations of flamethrower, so potentially people will still pick up the perk because the ability is going to be great, particularly in PvE. So do bear that in mind. There's 2 sides to that one, just to make you aware. Now with the Rapier, we've seen a lot of changes generally across the board. One thing that's going to be crucial on this is either using a refreshing set or refreshing move on the Rapier itself, something along those lines where you are going to be able to get your cooldown reduction up, because as we've seen, generally half to a third increases across the board on all of the CD times, which is going to mean that those abilities are going to be far less frequent than what most players with the Rapier are used to. That being said, it's going to make it a much more balanced weapon, particularly in 50v50, but in open world, it's no longer going to be the masterpiece it once was for escaping, so do bear that in mind if you are using the Rapier. Also, when this drops, you're going to have to respec your skill trees because they've swapped around a couple of the positions of the passives, so again, bear that in mind, try and screenshot that build that you've got if you've got it nailed down to a T and you want to get the exact same one before the update goes live so that you don't lose out on that if you can't remember exactly what you were running before. One of the other key ones that I did point out in yesterday's video again, but I just want to reiterate how important this could be, aversion. They have fixed it, so essentially the elemental and physical aversion perks should properly stack now, which means these could go up or down in value depending which way this actually works out being. Most people are predicting that this is going to be better than they currently are. In other words, they're going to stack properly and you're going to get more resistances from them, but do wait and see how that actually plans out in the live servers, and again, keep an eye on your own server's economy and market to see whether that is going to go up or down specifically, but I would certainly be keeping my eye on that because that is something that a lot of players will get as a drop, either in the craft mod form or in the form of an armor piece from these mutated expeditions, which probably at the moment most people, if not everybody, is still running almost daily. So do keep your eyes on those. That could be a potential opportunity for some big gold increases. So in the war and invasion section, this part right here where it says they have fixed an issue where the cleansing elixir was removing but not properly preventing the reapplication of debuffs during its duration. Now for me, the cleansing elixir is already something which is very, very invaluable in wars. It is essential to get for your tanks and for a lot of your flank teams, but this could mean that it's actually even better than it is already, or it's supposed to be better than it is already, and they're correcting that. So it's essentially going to give seemingly a few seconds or milliseconds of basically invulnerability to debuffs. It says preventing the reapplication of debuffs during its duration. So I'll need to get in game and do some specific testing, and I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. But the cleansing elixir could become one of the most powerful items on the war shop, so do make sure you keep an eye on that. Test it out, especially anybody that leads the wars, that shot calls for them. Do go in and have a look at that before we actually get into the war environment, or firstly when you get into a war after this update, because they could be really, really crucial to getting your team a victory, which would be amazing. Now another thing here is on the UI, UX and social tab. They have added the ability to view a player's gear score or average gear score, their weapon mastery for the 2 equipped weapons that they have, and the attribute allocations on the warboard. This is going to be crucial if you are someone who is not in one of the, say, main competing guilds or companies in the game. If you are somebody that's trying to get involved a little bit more, then having a good gear score or having a good set of weapons and perks, etc., with correct attribute allocations is going to be crucial. Now, what this also means is people that are in the company that like to say, oh, I'm definitely running 250 con, please put me in the bruiser team, if that's what your company has required, then you'll actually be able to be seen now what those attributes are. So if you are someone that's trying to be sneaky and get a little bit more damage in, or not play the right composition exactly, bear that in mind. Mostly I think this is going to be great for pulling in extra players that aren't necessarily in your company's roster, but do bear in mind that, you know, your governors and anybody that's got the sergeant role in the war will be able to see these going forward, so you are going to have to accurately tell them what you've got going on. So bear that in mind. It's just as a PSA to everybody that is going to be playing in wars and signing up for them. Now the final thing that I just wanted to cover very quickly towards the end here is the smelter gear now getting dropped from tier 3 aptitude boxes. This is crucial because, like I said in yesterday's video, it is the only way that you are able to get those additional daily crafts on your Asmodeum. As of right now, it is not in the game. This will change tomorrow, which is going to mean that the aptitude tier 3 boxes are going to be something people are going for. So you are going to be able to sell a lot of your resources for a decent price because people are going to be grinding for that. Conversely to that as well, if you actually have some tier 3 boxes for yourself, or you're able to grind up the XP for them, if you were able to get a drop of that smelting gear, it's going to sell for a ton for the first couple of weeks. And of course, you probably want a set for yourself, as most players are rolling their daily craft limit items every single day. And the chance of getting 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 extra if you're super lucky from that roll every time you've got the set equipped is unbeatable. So you're definitely going to want to try that out. And of course, if you are someone wanting to make a big bit of cash, keep an eye on the prices of certain materials in your economy. People are going to be trying to level up for that. And if you do get a secondary set, or a set that you don't want of smelting gear, you're going to be in the money. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So that is going to be it for everything that I just wanted to cover here. Some top tips to look out for when this update does drop. Hopefully you have found this video useful and kind of something to keep in mind when you're playing, but not something that you need to necessarily do, not like a guide. Just things to keep your eye on your own servers in terms of the economy, how things will change, and things that are going to affect gameplay the most. If you have found this video useful, please do leave me a like on it down below, as it massively helps to support me and my content here on the channel. And if you are new to the channel, you've not already done so, please do go down below and drop a subscribe. I do upload brand new content every single day, so it would be amazing to have you here as part of the channel community. Other than that, guys, as always, thank you very much for your time, thank you for watching, and I will catch you very, very shortly on a brand new upload. Take care, guys, and peace.